Hi everyone, welcome to lesson 6.5. Here's your objective. I will be able to use properties to simplify expressions. Now we're going to go over three properties today. I've actually even written down right here for myself to refer to because sometimes I have trouble remembering. But they're commutative, associative, and identity properties. So we're going to go through all three of them and we're going to do some problems. Here we go. Alright, let's start off with the commutative property. The order in which two numbers added or multiplied does not change their sum or product. So if I'm just adding and if I'm just multiplying, I could change the order. All right. So order of operations doesn't really come into play here if there's only one operation. So for example, I have 7 plus 9, which equals 16. But I could also say 9 plus 7 equals 16. And I'll even write that down. 9 plus 7 equals 16. All right? So if I think about that with variables, a plus b, let's say that equals c. Well, b plus a will also equal c. The b and the a could switch. Same goes for multiplication. 4 times 6, let's count it out. 6, 12, well, count by 4 is the first time. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. 4 times 6 is 24. Well, so is 6 times 4. 6, 12, 18, 24. There you go. So when you just multiply, or if you just add, you could switch around the numbers. It doesn't matter which one you do first. So a times b, let's say that equals g this time. A times b will equal g. Well, guess what? B times a will also equal g. That's due to the commutative property. All right, our next property is the associative property, which is the way in which three numbers are grouped when they are added or multiplied does not change their sum or product. So it's kind of a mouthful, so let's take a look. I have 3 plus in parentheses 9 plus 4 equals. All right, let's do it out. 9 plus 4 first equals 13. 3 plus 13 equals 16. All right, but I could also rewrite that in a different way to get 16. I could also say 9 plus 3 plus 4. Because I have all addition. It's just addition. This does not pertain to subtraction. Just addition and multiplication. But because it's just addition here, I could switch my 9 with my 3 and do 9 plus 3 plus 4. 3 plus 4 equals 7. 9 plus 7 equals 16. That was our same answer. Looking down here, if I have a plus b plus c, let's say that equal d, which is fine, I would still get d if I did b plus a plus c would still equal d. All right, because it's just addition. I could even switch my c and my b around, and I would get d as well. All right, same thing with the multiplication side. 8 times 5 times 7. Well, I'm going to do my parentheses first, but it really doesn't matter. 5 times 7 equals 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. So this equals 35. And if I multiply 35 times 8, I have to do it out. 35 times 8. 8 times 5 equals 40. 8 times 3 equals 24 plus 4 equals 28. And my answer is 280. All right, even if I switch these around, so I know my answer is 280, but to prove to you, I'll do it again. Now I'm going to do 7 times 8 times 5. I actually moved all the numbers, moved them all around. That's going to equal 280 as well. You could do it out if you don't believe me. Actually, that'll be a good plan for you. You can multiply 8 times 5 and then times by 7. You could see that it'll equal 280. Same thing down here. A times B times C will equal, let's say, D again. Well, I could even switch it and do C times A times B, and it'll still equal D. When you're just doing multiplication, you could switch all the numbers around. When you're just doing addition, you could switch all the numbers around. That's due to the associative property. All right, we have one more to go over today, and that is the identity property, which is the easiest one, I think. The sum of an addend and 0 is the addend. The product of a factor and 1 is the factor. So let's look at the addition part first. The sum of an addend and 0 is the addend. So 13 plus 0 would equal 13. Anything plus 0 equals itself is what it's basically saying due to the identity property. A plus 0 will equal A. C plus 0 will equal C. Anything plus 0 is itself. Now, the second part of the identity property is the product of a factor, thing you're multiplying, and 1 is the factor. So 7 times 1 will equal 7. Anything times 1 will equal itself. A times 1 equals A. B times 1 will equal B. 1 billion times 1 will equal 1 billion. All right? So that's the identity property. Basically, the identity property is when the answer equals itself because you either multiplied it by 1 or you added 0 to it. All right, in your work tonight and in tomorrow's lesson, you're going to have to solve problems like this. It says, determine whether the two expressions are equivalent, yes or no. If not, explain why. If so, name that property. So I have 15 plus 5 plus 8 and 15 plus 5 plus 8. Will those be equal? I'm going to say yes, they will be equal. And that was because, I believe, of the associative property, when we could switch them all around. Let's see, I'm going to pull this down. And yes, because of the associative property. If we look back at the associative property, it's when it didn't matter which way the numbers were ordered. So that's why that worked out. Let's check out this one. 20 minus 12 minus 3 and 20 minus 12 minus 3. That way. Will these be equivalent? Well, let's check it out. 20 minus 12 equals 8, and 8 minus 3 equals 5. Okay. So this side equals 5. Let's do this side now. I have to do parentheses first. We have PEMDAS here. 12 minus 3 will equal 9, and 20 minus 9 equals 11. So 5 does not equal 11. So I'm going to say no, these are not equivalent, and that's because the associative property does not pertain to subtraction. Even though we have 20 minus 12 minus 3 and 20 minus 12 minus 3, it's different because we have to follow PEMDAS, so 12 minus 3 was done first here, and the order does matter for subtraction. Let's check and see what I put down below. No, because the associative property does not apply to subtraction. All right, moving on. 34 plus 0 and 34. Are these equivalent? Well, 34 plus 0 does equal 34. So yes, they are equivalent, which is quite easy. But what property was that? If I remember right, that's the identity property. Let's see. Yes, because any number plus 0 will equal itself. All right, 20 divided by 5 and 5 divided by 25. We switch the numbers around. Will these be equal? Well, 20 divided by 5 will equal 4, and 5 divided by 25 will equal 5 over 25. When you reduce it, equals 1/5. 1/5 does not equal 4, and that is because the associative property only applies to multiplication and addition. This is division, so the answer is going to be no. No, because the associative property does not apply to division. All right, almost wrapping it up here for today. Now it's your turn. You have 3 problems. It says, determine whether the two expressions are equivalent. If not, explain why. If so, name that property, like we've just been doing. So you have A, B, and C, 35 plus 17 plus 43, and 35 plus 17 plus 43. We changed around the parentheses. Will these both be equal? Either yes or no. If yes, What property? If no, explain why. Same thing for 25 minus 9 minus 5, and 25 minus 9 minus 5, and 59 times 1 and 59. All right, bring your work in tomorrow, and I'll see you when I see you.